bars in a rave. Man, I go hard like Santan.
FC on the Touchline Fracas Network. I'm your host, Fahi. Alongside me, I have Glam.
What's up, man? What's going on, everyone?
You good?
Good to be back, man. Good to be back. I'm happy. Football's back. You know,
it's been a while.
We're going to be crowned what we should have been crowned. No default. None of that handed over. We're going to be doing it the proper way.
You know. And we've got the usual host of the pod who's on load management this week, Krish.
How you doing, bro? You good?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, man. I was waiting for the ninth thunderstorm in the day to come through, but, you know.
Yeah, the weather's a bit booky. Julian, how's things?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Looking forward to this weekend.
Yeah?
Many reasons. But, yeah, I'm looking forward to football being back. All is good. All is well.
Nice. And finally, we have got a friend of the pod, Mush. How's things?
How are we doing, bro? Yeah, it's nice to be with some fellow Reds. It's, life's good, man. You know, a few weeks till we can call ourselves Prem champions, then it's completed football, and then time to focus on cricket full time after that. So, yeah, we're all good.
I find it funny how Mush...
Right, who's focusing on cricket, bro?
Team Shakib, bro.
Really? Okay. All right, mate. You can stay down there.
Mushy's there like, I got an IPL to win. What's going on here, man?
All we know is that all the way back in August, someone said that we'd win the title.
Yeah, you did. All right, well done, mate. All right, I'm sure you'll bring it up plenty of times. Mush did. Did you as well?
I don't remember, Glam.
Glam, you never said we won the league.
Oh, my God. Are we really going to do this now? You're going to start me off?
Glam.
Are we really going to start me off?
No, all right, before we start Glam off,
it's on pod.
All right, let me plug some things. So before we get started, I need to promote like the new Touchline Fracas Discord channel. It's close to 300 people already on there, and it's growing daily. There's going to be a special live chat for the game, Arsenal versus Man City. So tonight, basically, because you're going to hear tomorrow morning. So make sure you sign up and tag yourself as an LFC fan. Everyone's going to be on there. We're going to be jumping on, laughing at Arsenal fans. It's going to be great. So, yeah, definitely sign up to the Discord. And also, you need to please subscribe to the YouTube channel, Touchline Fracas. All of our future episodes will be on there as a visual. So if you want to see my beautiful face, Julian's beautiful face, Krish's top knot, you know, make sure to subscribe. So, yeah, as we were saying, Glam, did you really say that? Did you really say we were going to win the league? Because I don't remember that conversation ever happening.
Bro, I was the only one on that pod that said we're going to win it. And it's on a pod. So, bro, if we can put money down, I don't mind.
Boy, I mean, I'm not paying. Krish, you must have been hosting that one because I don't remember him ever.
I think it was Mush hosting that one.
Mush is the only one that's ever said it.
That's what I'm saying. The way Mush came onto the pod, like he's never been on before, was so funny. He's like, yeah, I'm here with a couple of Liverpool lads. Like, fam, like, you was there.
Listen, I want to be treated like a guest for a while. Okay?
No, you're not a guest. No.
Man wants to get us the nice plates and stuff, you know what I mean? Like the good wine.
No. You get a biscuit and drink, bruv. Don't try it.
Yeah, everyone's on a pod like, oh, yeah, injuries, I think Man City, and I said, yeah, injury-wise, you know, we can be obviously, we can come across it, but we'll win the Prem. We win the Prem. It's on the pod. Like, let's do this. We've been in the... Listen, we'll come back and revisit this next week.
Yep.
And we'll play the recording. No problem.
We 100% will. That's fine. We'll do our researches afterwards.
Cool.
All right, cool. So, big week. Back to normality of some sort. Football's coming back. How do you guys feel?
Great. Fantastic. Yeah? Fantastic.
Long awaited. Longer than any pre-season, right? So,
Mush, how have you felt with the time off of football?
You know what? It's been so weird because I realised once football had gone how much structure football provides for my week.
In your life, right?
Yeah, like bloody hell. Now it feels like, you know, I've got to watch something to pass the time. These 3 hours would have been spent watching this, or no match of the days on a Saturday. So no, it's great, and it's I don't know. I think based on the Bundesliga and Serie A, what's been really good is the players are so much fitter and sharper than we've probably given them credit for over this period, and it kind of shows why they're the pros. You know what I mean? Like when you watch some of the Bundesliga games, especially some of the top sides like Dortmund or Bayern Munich, apparently their running figures are literally matching, if not higher, than before the season stopped. So no, I'm really looking forward to it.
Nice, nice. Did you watch the 6-0 game against Blackburn? What did you think?
I don't know, because we all know my views on Naby Keita, but I'm going to have to be quite complimentary. So that's going to be interesting. But no, it's
Okay. All right. Hold your Naby Keita chat.
I'll hold it.
Chris, you start us off. What did you think of the 6-0 performance against Blackburn? What can you actually take away from it?
It's true. It's like, you can cut anything up to make it look appealing, can't you? You know what I mean? I mean, from what we saw, the sharpness, like what Mush said, the sharpness looked there, which was very encouraging. Don't know what that was. Yeah, sharpness looked there. Sharpness was there. Looks very encouraging. I think it was, the one thing that I took out of it was what you would call close to first team players, such as Minamino, Keita, Origi, whatnot. They looked like they were ready to contribute. So yeah, it looked like they were all ready to go, and they hadn't really missed a step. I mean, granted, it is Blackburn, but you can only play what you get up against. Yeah,
true. And what did you think of Minamino's performance from what you could see?
It looked. I mean, we had that bit of a laugh last week, didn't we? Where we were kind of trying to tease Joe, saying that the replacement would be Minamino for Shaqiri, and we kind of turned that joke into a bit of a prophecy, really. So he looked sharp. I think his first touch looked there. Finish for his goal was really good. But yeah, it's again. I think someone said this a few weeks ago on Twitter. The players that you hear about them being awesome in training, those behind closed doors players, they might thrive a bit more without fans and that pressure. I mean, I also saw someone say that this might be the atmosphere to bring Karius back. So let's take that for what it's worth.
Let's not
do that. Let's not ruin a good time. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think it's just going to be a good opportunity for, especially, I know we'll come onto it later on, but with the 5 subs and stuff, it's going to be a good opportunity for the players who want to put themselves in the shop window to demonstrate their worth to other clubs, and for the youngsters to really step up for us.
I think. Sorry, just to intervene there, is also that a big thing that we saw with Ox as well when he came is it's been a few months since Minamino's been here, and you can notice there's been a change in his physical shape. Like the calves look bigger, he's filling his shirt out more, and I think the athletic profile is so big for Klopp and his kind of player profile that he expects. That it's been really refreshing to see that, because he's kind of caught up physically now, or had the chance to. He's suiting our intensity a lot more in the way we play.
Yeah, it's true. And I'm always interested to see how these players end up doing after a couple of months. So obviously with Fabinho, it took him a while to settle in. It's taken quite a few Klopp signings a while to settle in. So I'm really intrigued to see in the next 9 games what Minamino can come up with. Julian, what did you think of Naby's performance, your boy?
Naby's performance. I'm a bit, as I am with pre-season, when it comes to Liverpool, I'm a bit indifferent when it comes to seeing their performances like in less competitive, non-competitive situations. It's good. It's nice because it's evident with a couple of other teams that we won't talk about losing on their, friendlies, coming back into the Premier League. So it's a good sign that we're actually winning 6-0, and it also is a good sign that our fringe players, as I would say, the ones that are not starters, like Naby, Hoover, and Minamino, have played well. This is just me scrambling around to say I didn't watch it. I haven't seen I've seen little glimpses and little things that you guys put into the group chat, because I haven't been on Twitter like that. But I haven't seen highlights of some of the goals and the whole performances, so I can't really talk too much. But what I can speak on is it's good that there some like players like Minamino especially, who physically when he came on against Wolves looked out of his depth, is now acclimatizing to Liverpool and Klopp. So that's good signs from what I hear. And what I see is Naby Keita looks a lot more. It looks like he put on some strength. Even though he looks a bit leaner, looks like he can take a couple of strides without breaking down. So from what I've seen,
fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed, man. So what I've seen, he looks like he's got the body profile now for someone that can last 90 minutes. I hope.
Pause.
But I hope, Naby Keita doesn't break down on us after 70 minutes or 60 minutes, and we're able to see some consistent performances from him going forward. But I hope things.
If not, we're gonna have to send Keita to the same guy that Angel Gomez went to.
Yeah, we need deep prayers. Him, Igalo, and Fred.
Whatever works, man.
Yeah, whatever works. Like, they need to hold at Naby Keita if that's the case. But I think he's been eating his fufu over quarantine, so I'm happy. From what I've seen, I'm happy. So let's give it another go.
Yeah. What's this? Round 4?
Yeah.
How many reloads, man? How many reloads?
Glad. What did you think? You were really excited to see the highlights of that game, man. You were waiting for the highlights. So you tell me, what did you take from the 11-minute clip?
Mate, listen, man, we could have won 1-0, but I would have glorified it either way. It was just good to see actually the guys out and playing. I was really impressed with the fact, obviously, the intensity that we was playing at. I think the guys have missed playing as well. Obviously, by their interviews and obviously during lockdown, and obviously reading a lot of the social media feeds, they were really they were missing it. They were missing it. I know COVID was a massive thing, but you can just tell them missing it, and it's just so refreshing for them to come back and to just see that. Like, it's just the fluency. I was happy, and the players. I'm not optimistic about Naby. I believe Naby's a special talent. But I'm not going to go off this. I'm just not going to jump on anything until I see him proper deliver and be available. But other than him, you know, Minamino, I'm glad he got his first goal. He looked impressive as well. So yeah, I'm happy, man. I'm glad that we just came back and I saw the ball like, yeah, we're ready to deliver the title. And they got so much to look forward to as well. Anyway, it was a downer that we got at the Champions League, which I'm still pissed about. I can't lie. But I think they just want to deliver the trophy in style, and I think Everton are going to get worked on Sunday.
I definitely feel like this Liverpool side, they've got them. Like, I remember Klopp called them mentality giants, and over this, obviously we'll have to see, you know, how they play during these next weeks. But you know how you've seen some players look on Instagram or look when they've come to play those games, those warm-up games. They look a bit sluggish. They look out of they look out of shape. None of us look like that. Like, all of our players. All of them, yeah, I think even most of them, like when they're on a podcast or when they're talking to someone outside of football, they're like, yeah, I just had a gruesome training session with the boys. Like, these guys are still, you know, doing gang press training at home during the pandemic. So that just goes to show the mentality of these guys. And I think this COVID ID, this is premature to say, but I think this COVID ID, you know,
what?
COVID-19.
Yeah.
COVID-19 has actually kicked them up the arse a bit to be like, you know what, we want to go for the title again next year. So I think that's definitely what they're prepping for. So exciting times, man. Exciting times. I look forward to Sunday because I think Everton are going to get worked.
Yeah.
Okay, that's confident. So, Mersh, you wanted to chat about your boy Naby. What do you want to say? Because I know you are a naysayer of Naby Keita.
It's okay. I have constantly maintained this position. It's not that I'm a naysayer, right? It's that Naby, I feel like Naby has to do so little to be put on a pedestal with other players who have done so much for our club. And I think that does frustrate me a bit. Like, let's say, for example, Naby has a great game, right? That kind of, the moment Naby has a great game, it kind of automatically justifies why Genie's a ghost or why Hendo shouldn't be playing anymore. Like, I fully want Naby to do well. Like, I believe me, I support Liverpool. So if Liverpool are doing well because of Naby, I'm happy. But
talk it.
Yeah, what I don't like is this whole thing of like, Naby does a half decent pass where if someone like Guendouzi played it, we'd be cussing Arsenal fans for it.
Yeah.
But we do it ourselves and we don't realise. And we are the best team in the world now, and our standards for what we think is exquisite play should be at that standard and not just trying to make our marquee signing better than he's playing. I want him to play at the level.
To counteract that, I hear you with the whole, like, we're the best team in the world, so we should have the best, like, you know, style football. Have you seen what our midfielders do?
Exactly.
Have you seen what our like midfield is about? Like that. Oh no, don't get twisted. I agree. I actually agree with much. Like when I see people, oh yeah, Keita Hive, he's back. When he does like one decent thing, or when they find out he's about time. Even but like a couple months ago, I was like, come on. But I kind of empathize with both sides. It's like
Julian, I'm happy for Naby Keita to be considered our best player when he's playing like our best player. That is literally my position here. It's nothing to do with kind of me wanting him to fail. It's like, until you're there, bro.
Yeah, no, 100%.
I have seen Hendo, you know, score winners against Southampton, knock balls over the top against flipping teams that have saved us on games. I've seen Genie score doubles against Barca. Naby, do that, bro, and you will be my most cherished possession at this club. I'm happy.
The
for
problem is he can do that, but for him to do that, he needs to be fit.
that.
He needs to be fit. Like everyone's coming back now through this break, through this pandemic and this 12-week break. Everyone's come back fit now. No excuses. He's got a new trim, whatever, blah blah blah. Yeah, he's got no excuses. I'm at the level where I'm like, I want to see Naby do something before I even rave about him. I definitely with Mosh. Before I rave about him, he needs to do something. Not 3 games, Julian. Not 4 games, bro. I need to be seeing him doing it to the end of the season.
I've got my hot takes about Naby. I'm just waiting. It's just stewing at the moment. You know when you're letting it like sit in the pot, simmer. I've got my hot takes with Naby. What?
You know what, guys? You know with our players, like, is there any other Liverpool player who we know is world class or a great player who we need to even try and convince others of that they're good? Like, I never have to have a debate with anyone about whether Sadio Mane is a world class player or whether, you know, Fabinho is playing brilliantly. Like, it's only players who we know we can't back fully that we have to do the threads and essays about. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I get it.
It's a weird one. I would say you're right. Number one, you are right in what you're saying about what the fans do and Naby, and like he will go past a couple of players and everyone will like throw a fanfare about it. And I think it's purely because they're trying to justify the price tag.
Yeah. I agree.
He's trying to justify the price tag and the hype, because I can't lie. Come on, man. Everyone was watching the videos of RB Leipzig. He was like, yeah, when we bought him, number 8, Gerrard gave him the shirt. Yeah, like, let's not lie. There is that sense of, even myself, there's that sense of, I really, really hope Naby Keita bags, because, fam, there's a lot of stock that was previously put into him. That's obviously been taken out very early. But yeah, man, that.
Do you know what's nuts? Fahi said this so many times on Twitter, but we've become so sensitive now, yeah, that we can't even accept that Naby Keita might be the only L we have, yeah?
It's true.
It's true. That we might be our only L, but the fact that someone can say something, even though the remaining 13 players in our squad are brilliant, we can't even handle that. Like, it's hilarious.
But you know what, yeah, let's be fair, though. Let's be fair to Keita. He's had, for example, more of an excuse to be backed by Liverpool fans as compared to some of the other players that we back, that we religiously back and make threads about. Because Naby Keita, to be fair, even when he was fit, or when he appeared to be fit and on the bench, he wasn't really getting chances because it was tight. Like, we was neck and neck with Man City last season, and Klopp had a try midfield. So this season, I've been kind of harsher on him because of that. But I feel like it's been kind of justified because obviously with injuries, we're kind of holding on to if he's not injured or if he's fully fit, which we still haven't seen yet for a good stretch. So
I fully agree, Julian. It's like the Mahrez thing at City, right? Like, like last season, Mahrez didn't play. So you can't say Mahrez is crap if he's not playing. And I'm fully on that. But just because we can't call him crap doesn't mean we should rate either. So I'm trying to provide balance. I'm Thanos, bro. I'm providing balance to this universe, man.
No, 100%. No, I don't think his ability is in question. It's the fact, obviously,
application.
Yeah, and what he's doing. I said a couple months ago that he's close to the flop list with Karius of Klopp signings. He's close to the flop list, and I'll stand by that until he does something.
Nah, I disagree. The sample size ain't big enough, man. You can't say that.
But wait, if he doesn't play anymore, then he's going. If he's unfit for another few months of the season, what can you do? We're going to leave him on a wage bill.
Do you know what I would consider a flop? Yeah, is someone who has had the ample opportunity but no ability. Keita has shown ability with ample opportunity. Because let's be honest,
I get you.
Last year, clutch games like
you can't call Moreno and Keita the same thing, man.
No, let's not lie. No.
Okay, all right. So I love bringing this pair up. Dejan Lovren, does he count as a flop?
For what? Because
no way.
Yeah, for what he was
rubbish.
He's
not a flop.
No way.
He's rubbish.
There we go. This is what I want to get to.
Shit,
it's just not good enough.
You know why I call him a flop? Because what we brought him in for, he didn't succeed. He didn't fulfill. Keita, there's still time. There's still time, and obviously there's been actual reason for it.
Nah, I wouldn't say obviously. No, not being a flop.
All right. So Mush, why do you not think Dejan's a flop? Based on Julian's explanation of what a flop is, and like, all right, so we purchased Lovren for 20 mil. It's been about 5 seasons now.
25 with add-ons.
Chill. It was 20, man. Come on.
I remember it was 25.
Don't add that hatred interest, bro.
It was 25. It was 25 mil. I remember on the dot, 5 mil, Dejan Lovren. And I think Lallana was like, what? 23 or 23.
Okay, Lallana did help us get to the Champions League. So I don't think that's a...
He's not.
No. I'm just saying that. I remember the Southampton sale. I remember that time. It was. I was doing my accounting. It's all right. Lauren was.
All right. So I know we've gone sideways.
Inflation.
Can I explain why it's not a flop though?
Go on then.
Because I think a big thing that Julian defines his hatred on Lovren on, is the evident moments where Lovren has proven he's not the highest level. But that doesn't mean someone's a flop. Like, for example, last December, when we became the first team ever to win every game in December, right? That's never happened, yeah? We got maximum points in December. Dejan Lovren started every game, yeah?
My boy.
Yeah? Now, 3 games afterwards, I think, or it might have been even 1 game. I think this was straight in. This was the loss to City, yeah? My guy got ripped by Sergio Aguero. There's no harm. Dejan Lovren only gets ripped or outdone by the cream of the crop. It's not a weekly rubbish thing going on, man.
He did show signs of inconsistency, though. I'll give you that.
Inconsistency, I agree, bro. But if you've been in the team for long enough, where you have not hindered your team from achieving its objectives, then haven't really been a flop. You might not be the star player, but it doesn't make you a flop. There's a middle ground there. And
I agree. He's not a flop for me, but he's not good enough.
Do you know my retort to that? My retort to that is, as I said before, you got to remember what these guys were brought in to do. Lovren was brought in to be Van Dijk before Van Dijk was there. And he evidently showed, when we gave you 30 games in the season, we had some of the worst performances I've ever seen in my time as a Liverpool fan. So, and you was leading the line, and you was the most responsible. So when you're giving up performances like what you did against Balassi or in Gerrard's last couple games, then I'm sorry, you're a flop to me. But Naby Keita, he has in the time, if we was to put Naby, if we was to average out Naby Keita's games into 10 games, it will say 4 out of 10 games he's actually shown ability. Like 4 out of 10 games you've actually seen him, and this consists of him coming off the bench as well. He's actually shown the ability to be in our midfield. But 6 out of 10 of those times, he's not giving catastrophic fuck-ups that are detrimental to the team, or giving away the ball, or not defending, or making the wrong passes, this, that, and the other. He just hasn't been given the ample opportunity to have a full 90 minutes over a good amount. When I see that, and he flops, and he's not great, then I'll be like, all right, fair. Like, but until then,
all right, fair enough. So I'll give you a question, a whole panel. What would you prefer? Yeah. So would you prefer a player who can be available for 35 games and have, I don't know, out of the 35 game, he has 6 not so good, or maybe more? Average it how you want. Or would you prefer a player with great ability, but available for 10 games? What would you prefer, Joe?
You take player A every time, because...
That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. So, although Lovren, obviously, he can be, have errors and inconsistencies, he's there for the taking, and he's there. And don't be wrong, I'm not a massive Lovren fan, but when we've needed available either injuries to Gomez or so forth, he's come in and stepped in for us, especially this season, and he's done a job. He's done a job. When we've needed Keita, he's nowhere to be seen. Nowhere to be seen.
How many times have we needed Keita, though?
What do you mean? We need him anyway. He's a player that gives us a different dimension, or meant to be giving us a different dimension in midfield. Because we've got Ronaldo, we've got Henderson, Now he's supposed to be a player that gives us something different, He's not there.
Now, you know what? I can give you a good example where he did come onto the pitch when we needed him, and he did change the game. So against United away, if I'm not mistaken, him and Lallana came on, and it was Naby's pressing and Naby's movement with the ball that kind of got us that equaliser. From what I remember.
Yeah. But he can do that, and that's what he can do.
Yeah.
That's not the problem. He can do that, and that's I admire that. But the fact, obviously, we're giving him reasons. He's not 15 years old. He's a grown man, and he needs to be available more. His ability ain't a question. It's whether he's available or not.
I don't think we've got the sample size to actually assign him as a flop, if that makes sense.
I agree, Chris. So don't misquote me. He's not a flop yet, but he will be on that board.
Okay, so if he got sold at the end of the season, let's say, for example, just for some random reason, financial reason, he gets sold at the end of the season, Does he go down as a flop or not?
Of course, man.
Flop.
It depends on how much you get back for him. Are we getting back how much we pay for him? We'd be considerably lower.
Nah, if Fahey say, if it goes end of the season and you look back at his
That's
highlights,
an Fulani career, bro.
This is going to go off a tangent, yeah. But would you consider Dembele and Malcolm to be flops at Barcelona?
100%. 100%.
Well, Malcolm, I don't know, because Malcolm, he didn't go there as a shoe-in first-team player.
Malcolm got flogged for tax purposes, basically.
It's not me. Like Malcolm's a bit different. Dembele, I don't think Dembele was ever worth that money. And, you know, I know he's an emerging talent, but I don't think he's ever worth that money. But he's another one. Injury, the record is poor. I
think we need to be a bit more selective with the term when we use flop. I think Kate has been a disappointment. He's not been a flop, innit? So far.
Flops for me is...
Flop for me is Markovic by far. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but he hardly got a chance though. So how are we moving the ball?
He did. He had his
He did, man. He was crap.
He did.
Markovic was crap.
He wasn't. He didn't look like he was the level.
This support worker thing isn't the way forward, bro. You can't.
Yeah, no, come on. He wasn't the level friend of what we've seen. But can you say he really got a chance?
Yeah,
really?
Man. He did.
Did Asaidi really get a chance?
Asaidi didn't. No, I don't think Asaidi did.
Graham has a point.
He's Europa League merchant.
There's been bare little wingers, yeah, that I'm looking at that. Yeah, you would have been alright still, like.
Yeah, the back of them.
Fucking Suso, Asidi. Yeah, you see for like 5 games they're shit, yeah, but then you think to yourself like, raw, like. If like Brendan Rodgers or some gave you like 5 more games to just settle in and try to do a thing, you'll be alright. But yeah, no, Markovic, he's different now.
Guys, look, guys, put simply, yeah, we're trying to justify Naby Keita's time by saying he was better than Asaidi. Yeah, let's sort ourselves out.
No one's saying that. No.
That
was you're a disgusting guy. That has not been said.
That is not being weaponized against us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you think I'm not clipping this tactically, Chris? I'm clipping this nicely.
Okay, cool. So, Chris, what do you expect to see? Like, realistically, what do you expect to see in the next 9 games from Naby? What do you want to see, other than 10 out of 10 performances?
Next 9 games that is available. Go on.
I think Glam's hit the nail on the head there. I'm not going to do a Marco in it and say I need 8 goals and 8 assists from him. He's a Superman and stuff. He's got too much money on a losing position. But you just want him to be fit and available for 9 games, have some contributions. I don't think he'll start on Sunday. I think he'll start against Palace though. And you just want to see. You want to see that profile of the guy that we saw at Leipzig, the guy who's pressing, the guy who can break from the midfield. And, you know, if he grabs a few goals, that'd be great. If he just looks like a engine in the midfield, that's even better because it shows that he's adapted to the style of play and he knows what's asked of him now. You just want to see that intelligence more than anything because he's a smart player. And it's just the availability stuff more than anything, really.
So what would your ideal 3 in midfield be?
From now to the end of the season?
Yeah. Let's say they're all fit.
All fit?
Because right now they are all fit.
Yeah.
Fab. I'll go Fab 6. I'm going to sound like a tool here. Fab, Hendo, Junior. And that's
such a waste, man.
Yeah, but it just
is so safe.
I get it, Chris. I'm not saying I do, but I get it.
I can't let you know.
Chris, I don't have any veins left, bro. Please.
During the season, I kind of was like, oh no, KO Ox, one of them. But now I come to the fact, like, you know what? These Hendo and Genie, they deserve it, man. They deserve it.
You know what? It's my old age showing there. You know, I just want something I want something safe. You know what I mean? I don't want to be chasing dreams and doing whatnot just to be let down in the end. I just want something safe. But, you know, I think for certain games, let's say, you know, we still got to play Burnley, Brighton, teams like that. I think then you can change it up. It's what we've discussed before in terms of changing it up for lesser opposition. So then you definitely could do, you know, maybe you don't even play Fab. You give him those days off and then you play someone else in the 6, Keita, Ginny, something like that. It just depends. I'm not doing Ox Hendo. After everything we've seen, the sample size is there to say that ain't happening.
Yeah, that's just, oh, God.
But Ox against the Atletico Madrid was probably our best player. So
yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, he got to shoot. When Ox is disciplined and he's told, yo, don't run around and trying to do a mad thing. Just run the lines, pressure, pass the ball when you need to, and you're good. But still bring that intensity. But yeah, man. Ox, Ox could be definitely be a starter if he was a bit more like tactically disciplined, or as tactically disciplined as Genie went on. Let me not knock him. So I would say Ox is more of a shooting than Keita at the moment for me. But still, I'm same as Chris, man. Like Fab, Genie, Hendo. I've resided to that. Klopp has beaten me. He's won. Like we can't beat this guy.
All right, Glad. Would you go with the same three?
What, for the rest of the season?
Yeah.
I'll be honest. From performances from the last, Fabinho don't make it. I'll be honest. In a ideal.
Oh wow, Mush clapping as well. Interesting.
An ideal world, Fabinho does make it. He does make it ideal world, but I'll be honest. On performances from prior, I'll go Henderson, Ronaldo, and Ox.
Okay.
Fab Fabinho, he's been poor. He's been poor, and the more and more he's been played, he's getting worse. So yeah, nah.
How about yourself, Mush? What would you do?
I think I have to echo Glam's sentiments there. I think I haven't seen Fabinho make a tackle since about November. So like, honestly, we get walked through that middle, and then we're lucky we probably have the best centre back in at least a decade to at least save us in that situation. So I would personally go. I'd play Hendo at the 6, and I think he's really proven that this year. He's fine coming in. Then I'd play Genie just for some familiarity, even though it's not that exciting. But then I think that third place is where either Naby or Ox, because I think one thing that's going to be needed in this crowdless atmosphere is someone to inject some kind of athleticism or energy. So I think where you've got Hendo who can, move the ball, keep it ticking over, keep us organised, Genie just plugging some holes. I really want that player in that third spot to, like Chris was saying, take control of the game. Naby, our midfield don't score goals very much, don't get assists, but it's all about the eye test. It's about who's adding quality to our play. And I want either Ox or Naby to be the one who adds that quality, I think.
It's interesting that you say that you'd want Hendo in the 6 when Klopp's kind of favoured Widge in the 6 this year over Hendo for some reason. Why is that?
I think it's more, firstly, that period where Fabinho was out and Hendo, I think he really expanded his passing range. And I think that could be a benefit, especially at the start, this weird period where defenders might be fit, but they won't be sharp. And I think Mo Salah and Mane are going to have lots of good runs going in behind. I think Henderson's more equipped with that than the Genie who plays for Liverpool, because the one who plays for Holland would probably play that pass over the top. So, yeah, I think just based on what the team could prosper with, I think Hendo, for me, would be better in the 6, yeah.
Okay, interesting. So obviously there's the new 5 sub rule. I'm not sure if everyone knows, but so moving forward, there's a new 5 sub rule, which I'm sure Klopp will utilise straight away. So do you see more trust minutes being given to any youth players at all? Obviously, we know that Minamino is going to get minutes. We know that Keita is going to get minutes. Origi, Milner, Lallana at some point. Shaq, possibly, if he's allowed to play. Not really sure. But yeah, do you see any of the youth players getting any minutes at all?
I only see Hoover, apart from Hoover and maybe Curtis Williams. But even still, I don't think so.
Curtis Williams? Nico Williams.
No, sorry, Curtis Jones. Curtis Jones. Sorry, Curtis Jones. But even then, I felt like these players, apart from Hoover, Curtis Jones and the likes of Harvey Elliott and Brewster, if he's back, I'm not sure.
Nah, he's still at Swansea.
Yeah. Okay, so they would only be given minutes when our squad is thin, and our depth in our squad is quite large now. So I do see Klopp opting to give the Origis, the Lallanas, the Milners to even close off a game. Keita, Ox, who else is there? Big squad. Shaqiri, if his calves are still working. Yeah, I see those 6 in front of all of apart from Hoover maybe, or if there's any defensive issues. But I see a lot of our senior players getting more time than the youngers, unless there's some sort of, like, for example, Dejan Lovren, who's probably going to get sold this summer. We hope.
Please.
You hope, not me.
Nah, man,
Bro.
But you like him, Fight?
Yeah, man, that's my boy. I've always defended him.
What the hell you like about him, bruv?
He's a good lad.
What? Like, he talks to Salah.
Nah.
Mo Salah's
It's not.
mental
It's not
health-
that. It's not that.
Mo Salah's
My point with Lovren has always been you're going to find it hard to find a better fourth choice centre back.
Agreed.
But that's the thing, though. He worms his way back to fucking second choice. This is my problem. If you're just first choice and stay there,
Yeah, because Joel Matip
I'll be
can't stand
happy.
up properly.
Yeah, because your boy Matip can't stay fit.
yeah, but that's what I'm trying to say. I don't like that, though. I don't like it. Because obviously he worms his way back up the top. Like, he got Juju on him or something. I'm like, bro, I don't like it.
He's
I
actually-
don't
I like how Glammy's making it sound like Lovren's going around bottling people just to get back his
Bro, he's doing something. I don't know. He's doing something. I'm telling you.
He's actually though we can't beat this guy. Like every time I see him, like
Exactly.
we can't beat
Look at
this
his
guy.
move.
Like he's just here all the time.
Yeah, he's a god. He's a god. He's a god. Serie A move falls through. Like, he's a god. He's just a god. He's a
Yeah,
god.
You know what? I'm so happy for him that he's going to leave the club with a Champions League and a Premier League. Like honestly, I'm gonna have Lovren as my display picture and everything. I'm gonna milk it so badly.
Daniel Agger got nothing for all his time at Liverpool, and his thinking Lovren is gonna get everything that all of our legends wanted, and I hate it.
You know, with the 5 subs thing,
Yeah.
Do you think a lot of it? I was thinking about this today actually. About do
I
you
think it's a piss take, but go on.
Yeah, no, it is to be fair. But do you think a lot of this depends on how do I word this? In the time that's gone, right? In the time that's elapsed, do you think the club's kind of objectives have changed from we need a title? Because I feel like pre-COVID, it was all about we need to win this title in the most dominant way ever. Are we still aiming for this most points you can ever achieve? Or is this just let's win this title in 2 weeks and then everyone gets their, Make-A-Wish Foundation minutes? What have we shifted our kind of what we want us to be perceived as? Has that shifted? I don't know.
I think with the way the club is currently and the stature that we are, we're never going to go into a game not wanting to win. Klopp's always going to put a team out to try and win a game, and we've seen that even when he's put out weakened youth team members, we've still ended up beating second string Arsenal teams. Do you get what I mean? So I know what you're trying to say. Are we trying to go for the record points tally or not? But I think this is such an extreme situation where no matter what we may think, these players aren't match fit. So they're not all going to be able to be playing 90 minutes every 3 days. So I feel like the five sub thing is going to be utilised.
Yeah, but I'm saying it depends on who comes on as well then, doesn't it? Because,
yeah.
Like, it goes from, is Curtis Jones going to come on? Or do we genuinely care about these points so Milner's coming on? Like, it's one of those two
Well,
things.
I guess it'd be, there's 2 parts to it. It's going to be A, situational. See if someone's in the red zone in terms of their, conditioning. If they reach that point, then someone will come on to obviously replace them. And then the second part will obviously be whoever just worked the hardest in training. Because that's how Klopp operates, isn't it, really? So if, Curtis has a good week in training, they'll come on, get a few minutes. The same with Harvey Elliott. Those who went to Turkey to get hair transplants, they won't be getting minutes. So
I don't know how many years.
I personally think that I think it's a given that, well, it is a given that we're gonna win the league. I do think, in my opinion, the club and let's be real, as all football fans, we kind of know that this season and the remainder of this season is kind of not going to be seen in the most legendary light. Not going to be seen
through the tainted title thing, man.
But let's be honest, even the players will feel that within themselves. They're going to feel like, raw. We could have done, if this was a normal season, we could have set records, everything. But I think next season is the objective for the club, because this season's a write-off. Like, let's be real, like they're not going. I don't think they're going to win the same amount of money that they win for a Premier League title. The stature, the level of like excitement has kind of gone down. Even though it's not going to be the same. We're not going to have the title celebration.
Right, speak for yourself. I'm going to be drunk as soon as that's announced.
You never. That our first Premier League title is not going to be the same. Like, as
you are right. It's not going to have that same. It still has that mystique about it, but it's still not going to have that same kind of like you can just go and link up with all your mates and.
I get what Julia's saying. Obviously, we a couple of my boys and we were booked. Obviously, we should be in a hotel. It was supposed to be a hotel in May. We booked it up. We was going to go out of town last. I mean, Newcastle last game of the season. Everything was all set in place, and then this whole thing happened. So the parade and stuff ain't going to be as much the same. But You know, I'm just glad that I didn't think the season would be voided, but a lot of people pushing for it and they wanted it, and I didn't want it where we was denied of that winning it that way. So I'm just ecstatic that it's coming back normal. We're gonna win it and we're doing it style. I think the guys I said earlier in the pod, the guys are hungry. They'll do it in style. Even there's no crowd, if we slap Everton and everybody's team 6-5s, it will bring it back. Do you know what I mean? It will bring the enthusiasm back. But I do understand what Mush is saying. You know, it's even though we lost our record and we've got champion Atletico Madrid, some people's mindset may be, you know, it's not as, you know what I mean, incredible as it would have been. But either way, man.
You know what? As long as you reach 100 points, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Fahi, I need to step in and say that. I need to agree completely with that. And I think, Julian, the one thing I disagree with about next season, bro, is that we are taking this freak Liverpool form as like some kind of given for any team that's doing well. Like, this is more points than any team in Europe's top 5 league ever. Yeah. This is never going to happen again, bro, at this level. Like, 109, bro. I didn't even think 100 was possible until Prepper came. We're due to get almost 10% more than that. Like, yes, we can win it next year, but there is no way that something as absurd as this can happen again. I really believe we can get 90.
Do you want to bet that Liverpool next season finish with 95 plus points?
Julian, you can't go every year losing 1 point a year, bro.
No.
It's been a life of 30 years, I'm telling you.
I would have agreed with you, yeah, if this season was a normal season. But these men have had rest, and they're to be honest, our team, if we're being honest, is the most physically fit and probably the most strongest team in the whole of the Prem in terms of being able to pack probably every player in our team, apart from 1 or 2, could play 38 games in a season. Most 90%. Most teams in the Prem can't do that. So yeah, I do feel like you know, this form that we have now is amazing, and it probably, to be honest, won't be replicated again in terms of not losing until God knows when. But I do think like what happened with Man City was, especially this season, mentally tired. They were drained from the fact of winning the title twice in a row and then getting 198 points. Liverpool now, we've kind of had that rest, and there's that hunger from these players again to be like, you know what, we can do the same thing that we've done this season again, and we'll be better. Because I don't see a lot of teams getting better next season, to be honest. Like, to the level that's going to be like, all right, we're gonna lose a lot more games than we did this season, in my opinion. That's
a really good point, Julian. I think with the group of players that we've got now, and how, you know, dedicated they are, how mentally strong they are, as we've been saying all season, and with the talents, you know, we've got game winners all over the pitch. We've got mentally strong lads all over the pitch. You look at what everyone else in the league has got. All right, cool. You got a few good players. Are you gonna be able to add to that properly this summer? Probably not. You know.
Yeah.
Other than Chelsea, who are going to sign anyone and everyone.
Yeah, Chelsea, they're a problem. They cause us issues in our best seasons. Like they're kind of forgiven, but the rest of the league, and also I do feel like this is going to be a bit of transfer. I do feel like Liverpool's playing a bluff here. There will be 1 or 2 signings, in my opinion, that I think is going to come through in this.
The mystery box.
I do feel like Liverpool's playing like that. I do think they're going to adapt, but I can't lie, man. Like next season, I don't see us finishing anything outside of the top 2, man. Next season, but I know it's early doors. But
it's nothing top 2. We've got to win the league next year as well, man.
I like echo on that as well. Obviously, we didn't make no signings this season. Obviously, we can't talk about the young kids, Vandenberg and obviously the Elliots and that. But I think obviously what you guys are saying is spot on. Obviously, we've got a settled side, settled dressing room, settled philosophy, you know, and I would love a sign. Don't get me wrong, I would love a signing, but we know what we got. We know what we're about. And I think a lot of the other clubs are trying to search to find elements to add to their game and to their squad. We're not in that situation. We're all about adding and evolving and getting extra. Do you know what I mean? So I do think what you guys are saying is spot on, where we will be there next season, and I think we'll win it next season as well.
Some of these clubs needed major surgery as well. You know what I mean?
Major.
Like, you underestimate how far we are from like quite a few clubs, even big clubs and all of that. I personally think we're levels above, not levels, but we're a level above Barcelona right now in terms of football wise. We're a level above, you know, Man United, Arsenal, Chelsea.
We're the best team in the world.
I mean, I hold Bayern Munich in quite high esteem as a football club,
yeah,
I think, as everyone else does. And, you know, they've got a brilliant squad as is. But even then, they still need to add about 3 players to get to where they want to be. But we don't have that problem. Well, when we were complaining last week about Werner, it would have been a good signing. Even I turned my fucking eyes on the price, thinking, you know what, I came around on it. He would have been a good signing. But then I can always flip up and say, nah, we're never going to do anyway, innit? But but
that's gonna hurt us if he starts doing well, man. Fucking hell.
But we just need that. We just need that one player that we can rotate in and out with. You know what I mean? We just need that auxiliary option.
I think that's what I think that's what like Minamino's the type that Minamino's and Ox and Kate, even though we don't like them to be, Cater and Ox are, like, they're not. I don't think they're the first name on Klopp's team sheet. And to be honest, to have that in as a fan of Liverpool, have Cater, Ox as not first names on the team sheet. And if you want to add Matip and Shaqiri, that's pretty good depth, to be honest. Like for years going forward, that's pretty decent. So yeah, I like when it comes to depth with Liverpool. Yeah, up front I can have my grievances, but I'm not too fussed, man. Like next year, I think we can definitely do this, have this type of season again, because we're mentally so strong.
Definitely.
Yeah, while everyone's still kind of finding their feet in this new, especially with what's happening financially in this new financial and Premier League state. So we'll have to see, man. But I definitely feel like Liverpool set up for another.
It's going to be proper funny seeing certain clubs being, the bailiffs coming to their door because they made exuberant purchases last summer that they probably shouldn't have made.
All right, cool. So we have to dedicate some time to the Ev. Obviously, we play Everton on Sunday, 7:00, Sky Sports. Sky Sports, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, so what are we predicting in terms of team and scoreline? Are we going with the regular Jurgen Klopp best 11 with Hendo, Wijnaldum, and Fabinho midfield, and then the front three as normal? Or do we think he's going to come up with a few changes anyway? Mush, what do you think?
Oh God, I don't know. I think Everton are actually. I know we always beat them, and I think they're shit. But there's the only thing that worries me a bit about Everton is that they've got some really good players physically, especially up top, like with Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison. And I think that explosiveness is going to be a worry for Klopp when we're still like adjusting. It's like the whole point about constantly doing driving lessons, but suddenly when there's no driving instructor, even though you know how to drive, it doesn't feel natural. And I think that's going to be that whole thing of shit. What if we're caught out by the physicality? I think to counter that, yeah, you're right. I think our midfield will be the reliable one, just so Everton feel like they have very little chance. I don't know how fit Bobby is actually. I think I don't know if he's as sharp. I think Bobby will play, but Minamino will play a lot. I think Minamino will probably come on for Bobby in about 70th minute or something, because I think that role that he plays takes time to get accustomed to. I think Sadio and Mo are just gonna just keep going and doing what they're doing. I think a lot of people have kind of forgotten their hunger for goals, and I can't wait to see that again with all that movement, because I think Everton, with Ancelotti, it looks a bit more promising, but defensively they're still crap. And
yeah,
I'm very much looking forward to us ripping them to shreds in that.
So what about in terms of scoreline? Do you think it's just going to be a clean sweep?
No, I think we'll concede a goal. Maybe I'll go for 3-1.
Okay. Chris, how about you? What do you think in terms of your predictions for team? I really think there's going to be a surprise, man. I just don't think he's going to go with the standard 11.
Yeah,
I agree.
I think it could be like what Mush said. He maybe do something up front, but because Salah didn't play in a behind closed door game, did he? Until was it Sunday? Him and Robertson. So it could be one of those two. It could be Milner at left back if there's a bit of an issue there, but. It could be a bit of a surprise, but it might be a situation where he's already got the two teams in mind. So he's got his team for Everton on Sunday, and then is it Crystal Palace on Thursday?
Wednesday?
You know what?
Yeah,
these games are all over the place. I don't know.
Yeah, we're playing Wednesday.
So in the grand scheme of things, that's what your normal midweek Champions League game. So he could have a different team in mind for then, just in terms of fitness level. So yeah. But I think he might just be, standard midfield, possibly standard defence. If there's something wrong with Robertson, Milner can fit in there. And up front, I think he'll keep it fairly standard. Maybe Divock up front. Divock does love a game against Everton.
Against Everton, yeah, he does. That's true.
Great point.
Can absolutely pam Pickford one last time, just in case he moves on. Yeah, it's a weird one. I think the point that Mush said about the physicality up top with Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison, that's not the worst. Two to have up front.
They're annoying though.
They're very annoying. Richarlison's a bit of a
They
bastard to
don't
play against,
stop.
isn't he?
They don't stop. They're really annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
100%.
I can't see us losing, even if it's the first game in 3 months.
Yeah.
Probably get comfortable 2-0. I'd be pissed off if we conceded just because past form and whatnot, even though that's out the window. But yeah, comfortable 2-0 and then just march on to Palace.
Okay, so I'm going to start with Julian on this one. From the remaining 9 games, what are you actually predicting happens? Are you expecting clean sweep of 9 wins? Or do you think we're going to have another L? Do you think anyone's going to stand out in particular? What are your hopes and what are your predictions?
I'm actually looking at the Premier League app to see our last 9 games. You know what?
City away.
City away is the only one I see us having an issue with. But even then, I see that issue only being a draw. Maybe Brighton can cause us problems away because I think they're in relegation, if I'm correct. And
you know what? They need to get a fucking beating, after.
Yeah.
Julian, you're not respecting Arsenal away.
Oh man. Let's just not even talk about them.
Let's get serious, man. That's not. All right, let me be respectful. It's not going to be an L for us. That's as far as
And even if it is, it's behind closed doors. It doesn't count anyway.
It doesn't count.
So, but this weekend though, I can't lie, fam. I need Pammins for my birthday still. I need a Merseyside derby. I need. To be honest, I don't think Klopp is going to play a full strength squad. I think Shaqiri will get a game for some reason for the against.
He ain't getting no game, man.
I watch, man. You see, don't worry. You see,
Shaqiri's not touching the pitch ever again.
I think he's training separately. I was reading.
I don't know, but he didn't play against Blackburn, did he?
No.
He's nowhere near there, man. He's finished.
I do agree. Origi will probably get a game. I don't think Mane and Salah will play together for some reason. I don't know why. I just think it'll be one of the two. So I think Keita will get a game on the wing. I think.
Please don't.
I'll be tried and tested midfield and Keita on the wing because training videos of Keita drifting wide and I think even in the warm-up game he didn't even play in the middle. So we can only hope. But yeah, man. Sunday, 21st of June. I just need a W for my birthday, please, because yeah, it's gonna be upsetting. If not upsetting, but no, it will be. If we lose to Everton on my birthday, I'm gonna switch.
I mean, it's not. I don't see us losing.
Yeah,
I don't think that's a problem. Glam, how about yourself? In terms of a prediction, give me a bold prediction that we can go back on and be like, all right, you know what? Glam said in the remaining 9 games, this is going to happen.
Well, first of all, I said what I said starting the pod, so if it's referring to that, it ain't nothing.
Right, I promise you, I'm going to check the history.
Again anyway.
I will check. I'm going to check.
All right, cool, fine. But I'm going to say, do you know what? It's hard to predict now because obviously what's happened. But going by the Blackburn game and Merseyside derby, even though we're away, we're not away because there's no crowds. So really, it's like the best whoever's the best. And I think we'll dominate Everton. So I'm going to say minimum, we'll win by 4 goals, minimum.
Bro. Against Everton?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Just reading this from Paul Joyce now. Apparently they're going to have Andre Gomez fit. No Gbamin. He's injured again. That's a fucking bummer, that is. He's actually a good player.
With Everton, I know it's a derby, but what are they playing for? What are they playing for?
You know what they're playing for?
Yeah, I know. It's a derby, but there's no crowds. There's no crowd. Like everything about the derby, you get the crowds behind you. And I just think coming back for them is just let's just finish our games and then get to summer and start again.
I agree with Glams. Do you think Richarlison really cares about Goodison Park like that? Come on, man.
Exactly.
Don't give a shit.
Nah, they just don't want to get pelted with Lonsdales on the streets, innit? Basically.
Richarlison seems like one of them, man, yeah, that because the crowd gassed him, he's getting over.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
But when the crowd ain't there, yeah,
We got everything to be motivated for.
you're going to see a man's going to be like,
This is my problem though with a few of these games in the end of the season. Obviously, with transfer windows and stuff coming up, players like Richarlison, they're going to be a little bit more incentivized. As you know, I think was it Barca that wanted him allegedly.
Yeah.
So are they going to be playing for like moves away and stuff? It's more shot window than anything. But yeah,
That's a fair point.
Okay, cool. So there has been a topic that's come up randomly in the past 4 or 5 days, and I'm guessing you guys can figure out what I'm going to come up with now. Philippe Coutinho. How do we feel about this discussion? Do we just think it's just bored Liverpool fans talking for the sake of it, or Chris is nodding, or do we actually think there's something to it? Mush, how would you feel if Philippe Coutinho came back to the club, and would you actually want it to happen in the first place?
Well, I think the first thing I want to say is from Coutinho's perspective, I completely understand why he might even be pushing for this, because obviously his career's gone a bit pear-shaped since
He definitely is pushing for this.
Yeah, exactly. So I
key
think
attraction is twerking right now.
Yeah, and he should be, because. But then you asked about how I feel about it. First thing is, quality-wise, Philippe Coutinho is one of the best players I've seen play for Liverpool in the last 5, 6 years. Like, he's so good, and I think all of us, we are so fickle as football fans. Like, if Philippe Coutinho came back and started performing, honestly, all of the back pains in Brazil and all of that, it all goes out the way, man. We think we have such principles when it comes to this sport, but we don't, man. I'm telling you. Let him wrap one in the top corner, and that's it. We'll be back on, man. You won't even be asking for your Naby anymore. I'm telling you.
Right. Whereas literally said this summer before, let me go. Like, let me leave. Like, live vote on paper, went to newspapers, everything. Came back, started slapping goals against West Brom. It was all normal again. So I can't lie to you. Coutinho, but with Coutinho, based on ability, I would love him back. I can't lie to you, because he adds an extra dimension when we're watching the game and I'm like bored out of my head. But then I see Coutinho and his little feet get the ball. I get excited. I used to get excited. I won't lie, because you used to bring something different that kind of could have been indicative of our football at the time, because it was a bit more exciting than we are now. But it was what it was. But saying that, I personally think it's his agent trying to get a move. But I think Coutinho in himself knows that I can't come back. Like, after all I've done, pay 9 million, and it's been publicised that how bad he wanted to leave to go to Barcelona, and even he knows. He must look at his Instagram comments and think, fucking hell, when he sees all those snakes emojis. So I personally don't think Coutinho wants to come back, but he's kind of in a beggars can't be choosers situation right now, because Barcelona are literally looking to flog him like a Woolworth sale. Like, they're telling him, yo, out of here. So there's that feeling of professional pride of, yeah, fam, I just got bought for 100 and something million, so I definitely should be at a big stature team, but no one's going to take that risk. And Liverpool's kind of been home for him for the last couple of years, so I don't know. I personally don't think he wants to come back, but if the opportunity was open, I personally don't think he wants to come back, because he kind of knows that bridge has been burnt, like, many times over with gas, petrol, everything. But I don't think he would say no to the opportunity if Liverpool were open to it, because I definitely do feel like he knows at the back of his mind that Liverpool, what he done to Liverpool wasn't the best, and he thought that he could just sell smoothly once he went to Barcelona, but it just didn't go to that.
I've got a question for you guys, though. Do you guys genuinely think, that Coutinho doesn't have some love for Liverpool? I get he wanted to go to Barcelona.
No, he does. He does.
Yeah, I don't begrudge him.
The players don't either. Remember that. Do you remember
South American
before he left, when Ox away at West Ham, when Ox was saying, like, you guys are asking about him, can I just come in and say, like, one thing that people can't accuse Coutinho of is him downing tools or lowering his performance or anything. Like, on the pitch, I can't, like, the third, like Julian said, the closer it got to the Barca move, the more he
He
was
started playing better.
Yeah, like I get the whole lying about the injuries, but then I think we've got to such a weird stage in modern football now where a player can't just leave in peace. Like Coutinho couldn't just say he wanted to go. Like it's always, like Emre Can when he wasn't signing the contract. Suddenly, just because my man who's brought up in Germany, just because he doesn't want to spend his life and his next 4 generations in the city of Liverpool, my man's getting hounded out the city. Like we can't always act like players have a divine kind of.
Yeah, but okay, you're right. But I still do think Coutinho left in a really bad way. I don't think that was a standard transfer move. There was a lot of shit that went on.
You think?
Yeah,
100%.
There was, and I think how could he do? Obviously, he wanted the Barcelona move. We all knew that. We were, just like Mo Salah wants the Real Madrid move when he said it. But
Glad mentions that Salah Real Madrid move. Single podcast.
Without mentioning Real Madrid, every single time he's like, he wants that move. He wants that move. What is this got to do with Salah?
So anyway, yeah, let me say. So obviously, yeah, understand, but there's no other way Coutinho could have done it. There's no other way he would have been able to leave. And I just think that we got a good price for him. I didn't want him to go. I got a good price for him. We moved on from when he's gone. Yeah. We've won the Champions League and so forth. So end of the day, do you know what I mean? It's like...
No, it is. I think with the Coutinho situation, what Liverpool's stance was that, remember when there was even the season before he left, there was even like, there was asking Coutinho, no, what are you actually going to do? And then he went on and eventually signed a contract. Unless there was some kind of there was some kind of verbal agreement like, yeah, if I sign this contract, I'm Barcelona come in, let me go, which I don't think there was with the way Liverpool moving. I think Coutinho kind of stuck himself in it. He signed a new contract, obviously, as anyone would, to earn more money. But what that contract tells is like, listen, we're a club, like, you signed a long, and it wasn't a short term 2-3 years, like 4 or 5. So it was kind of like, yo, Coutinho, like, we, in lack of better, we kind of own your soul, like, right now. So if Barcelona want to have you, they're gonna have to pay an arm and a leg, which they did. So I can't like with Coutinho, if he made his intentions more clearer and was a bit more adamant on his last year or two of his contract, like, yo, I want to leave, instead of signing the season before he's leaving, then it would have probably paid out a bit better. But yeah, man, to be honest, he's just a bit of a pussy, to be honest. Like, let's be real. Him and his agent they were being pussies. Like, he could have just told, I know Liverpool were doing great. Like, we had a great manager who was on the verge of building things, and our fans are strong. But at the end of the day, if you wanted to leave, you should have made and you're done with the club. I feel like it could have been handled a bit better, just a bit better on his side, especially with like making your intentions clearer with your agent saying, I'm not signing this deal. Even though they're Liverpool fans and how sneaky we can be, there probably would have been a bit of backlash. But the whole signing the contract definitely muddied things up for sure. And yeah,
I'll take a page out of Michael Jordan's book. You know what he says now isn't what he meant back then.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. He's made this mess himself. You know what I mean? And he's got to dig himself out of it. The easiest way back is kind of like, kind of pine back to that forgiving nature that we have as Liverpool fans. Oh yeah, think about the good times and all that. But it's not us he has to appeal to. It's Klopp. And I think those bridges burned the second time he feigned the injury and pushed for the move. I think if we remember what, it was FSG were happy to let him go. It was Klopp that wanted to stay, as there wasn't enough time to get a decent replacement in and whatnot. And yeah, that bridge is just completely burned now. I don't think he'd have him back. And
what Chris said is completely right. I think Liverpool fans kind of overestimate our importance in Liverpool's transfer dealings. Like, let's be real, they don't care that we want Coutinho back. Because if Klopp is saying, and Klopp has made it quite clear, and you can kind of tell when he speaks about Coutinho, even though he's quite civil with it, he's still kind of like has that, but fucking hell, man. If he just stayed with us, like, he would have been, every time he talks about,
was the statue quote, innit?
Yeah, the statue quote, that's it. So every time he makes the statue quote, you can just tell Klopp is there like, fam, this boy here just could have been my boy, and he snaked us. So I personally think Klopp is not trying to work with him again, to be honest.
There's no space in this squad.
I agree.
Where the hell is he going to fit?
Yeah, Klopp ain't trying to work with him.
Yeah, he'd have to come back. See, Mane's got his number. He's like, can I have that back? And Mane's going to be like...
All right, okay. All right, so let's say, for example, the offer is 10 mil for a 1-season loan, would none of you take it?
I would take it. Me, Julian will take it. Klopp.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
This is my thing with it, though. Where are you playing him?
Thank you, Chris. Because
that's fine. That's fine.
But he ain't touching the pitch. I'll tell you.
Okay, but then if you sign, let's say for example, Jadon Sancho, where are you playing him?
I'll make room.
Yeah. So you're picking and choosing, aren't you?
Sancho, you make room for. Coutinho is in a beggar's position where if we don't play him, it's like shut up and sit down, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Coutinho is not in a position to come start demanding things like that.
Beggars can't be choosers, brother. Sit down.
So then again, for 10 mil for 1 season, you wouldn't take a punt.
I wouldn't pay 10 mil. I think 10 mil's a bit much in it, because is that 10? You think 10 mil for 1 year loan is not much?
Listen, if
1 season loan,
10 mil wins us 1 or 2 big prizes, the prize money you get is.
Bro, I've seen enough of Coutinho to know that, if he's playing hero ball, it's going over the bar. He didn't win shit when he was here. He celebrated a League Cup final, threw his shirt off, and we didn't even win that. Like, we've kind of grown.
Chris has gone to Coutinho, yeah?
You're a nasty guy, man. you're an actual nasty. You're a big fan of Coutinho as well.
He turned on him like Klopp. That's why he turned on him like Klopp. Like he's burning. It hurt.
Nah, man. 13, 14. I had Coutinho on the back of the shirt, innit? And he just sits in my wardrobe now, just gathering dust.
Probably to hate you, us must have loved, innit? That's what it is, isn't it?
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
It's kind of the same situation, isn't it? It's like, you're with a girl for a while, innit? And she goes and moves on to someone with a bit more money. But now you're with another girl. And everything's going well, but that old girl's kind of coming back now saying, "Oh, I miss you."
Chris, just tell us her name, man. Just tell us her name. That's way too specific.
No.
I just had a fucking madness, bruv. I had to go, bruv. I saw a massive spider by my feet, yeah? Bruv, I was gone. I was gone, bro. Oh my God. Fucking I had a heart attack.
Because I saw him come off camera, he's looking around there.
Bro, I was gone. Bro, while I was talking, I saw it. I was like, no, let me remain calm, but fuck this, bro. I'm out.
Yeah, man. Coutinho, like, I like him, man. He's a good youth. No, he's not a good youth still, but...
what is the obsession? All right, so what is the obsession with our fan base and wanting him back? What is it?
It's the same thing with the Suarez thing, isn't it? It's like...
Yeah, I know. But I think with Coutinho, we made him in it. Let's be honest. Inter Milan, 10 million. You know what I mean? Shaggy hair, and we brought him in. We brought him into the superstar that he was, and I think he fit Liverpool. Liverpool fitted him, and understand. He game involved, and I just think as a South American, you want to go La Liga, but it's ruined you now. I don't think I don't think he can come back. I would love him back, but I'm not really a fan of this second time round thing, because I just think
has it ever worked?
So you ever really worth it? What, Ian Rush?
Yeah, you was gonna compare the first time. Then where we don't play without him now, where's he gonna play? We're gonna change our formation again. Like, I just think it's one of those moments where you made the decision. We got to make ours and we've got to move on. But the link, as you're saying, for just through fans, are like, where can he go? So they're just saying, you know what, come back. It don't work like that. It doesn't work like that.
It's true. I think the fans want it more than it actually being tangible, because and also I can't lie to you, I don't think the players have any bad feelings towards Coutinho either.
No way.
They all speak quite highly of him. Was it Hendo that came out yesterday and said something about him?
And that's the one thing that I'll give him. Like, it is true that when he was here, even though he wanted to move, I don't remember him like dropping levels, even though he was in service to us. Like that game against, I think it was Swansea before he left. Fuck. Mm-hmm. That was probably one of the best performances that I've seen in that season, and that's saying a lot when Mo Salah was there in his first season. So I don't see it happening. I think we're in love with the aesthetics of Coutinho shooting it off, and his little nippy tricks from our midfield that we haven't seen in time. But nah, man, I don't see that happening. I see us getting Dembele, a broken Dembele before getting Coutinho. I can't lie.
That's it. No.
Yeah, I think a lot of the Coutinho links have happened because people have thought that Barcelona owe us money, but they don't. So it's kind of just turned into a weird little story of, if Barcelona owe us money and we don't have any money, then we can take Coutinho for free. No, It doesn't work.
Do you want to clear that up for the fans who might not know what's going on with that?
Yeah, so we sold the debt. So the Coutinho money that's owed, we've sold it already. So we're not owed any money by Barcelona. Like, it's official. It's there on paper.
Yeah, the buyout, innit? We bought it out.
Yeah, it's all done. Like, we've sold it.
Cash that.
Barcelona owe that money to someone else, not to us. So we've made our money from Coutinho. So that's not even a thing.
Yeah. Different bailiffs of Barcelona now. So we've given it to the bailiffs. If they don't pay their fees, then the bailiffs.
Yeah.
For anything, it's not for us anymore. Still, but it'll be nice, man. It'll be nice to see Coutinho back in the Liverpool shirt. You know, because I think we're at the level now where we can have someone like him sit on the bench and hold it for a couple of months. Because you won't be getting paid a lot.
The only way he's been in a Liverpool shirt games in them Legends games.
Yeah, probably.
It's so weird because even me, like, on Sunday, I just started thinking about it. I was like, oh, you know what? I really want him back. But I don't know why. Like, it doesn't make sense. So where does he fit in? There's no need for him at all.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah, it's the prospect of having him, of one. I think we'll definitely, if we get Coutinho, let's be real, it'll definitely be one over on Barcelona. Like,
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
And we get him back for cheaper than you pay for him. There's that one feeling that I personally want him back for. And two, it's the fact that there's still kind of that, because it hasn't been too long since he's left. It's been what, like
2 seasons now.
2 seasons now, and even
2.5 seasons. Sorry.
Yeah, and even then, like half the season has been kind of cut away. The other half, he was with us. So it's basically been a full season of not having him, and it's kind of been like it's like he never left. Like if he comes back, it'll be like he never left because the same group of players are still there. He would just slot in like a glove, like the way we wanted to.
It was that main thing you were saying, bro. It's just the sauce, man. We've missed the sauce, and that's all.
It's true.
Like we had names for him, we had songs, we had everything for him, and the fact that it's been like 2 years and he can fit in like a glove because no one's really left, no one's really like gone. There's not been no big changes. Like he can slip in like a glove, and it's an easy one as well, very easy.
All right, let's say for example he came back. Where do you think he could have even played?
On the left, wouldn't it?
Would it be the left? Because then what happens to Mane?
He just doesn't play, man.
That's what I'm saying. You have to change. You have to change.
How I wish he could.
This is one of the
That's
reasons,
what I mean.
This is one of the reasons why it's so enticing, because I think we can all agree that we need some form of backup player off the bench or to rotate in the front three. And you can feel to a degree that he can do that to an extent. But even then, it's like,
mad. He left as our best player. He's coming back as a rotation option.
It's mad, right?
Life
and
is hard, bro.
and he's still 28.
Hard.
He's still
Life
28.
and I think I think the thing why some of the fans really want him back, and it's always those guys with like football average that want him back for some reason. It's
Just don't lie, man. You've got a burner as well.
I think that's the Bobby Firmino burner. It's just we hold on to when we were playing 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3 and he was in the midfield, and people kind of like, okay, you know, if he comes back, he's going to slot straight into that midfield three, and we're going to, you know, we're better defensively now, and we're going to, you know, go and pound everyone. It doesn't work that way, and we've seen with the defensive responsibilities you need for the midfield, and also the fact he's 28. So
we usually see what our midfield looks like when Keita and Ox are slotted in. So when Coutinho, who's weaker, let's be real, smaller, less strength, slots in, we can get pammed. I won't lie. If he's in our midfield, we can get beaten up. But I always say, man, like the more quality, the better. Like we've got, if we really want to be the team that's the best in the world, going for all the trophies on all ends, someone like Coutinho should be sitting on the bench. The way Sane and Mahrez and Bernardo Silva rotate for that left wing position, it's something that Liverpool should be aiming for as well. And Coutinho, let's be real, doesn't really have a leg to stand on. You have to firm what
you have to firm it, yeah,
and work your way, definitely work your way back, definitely.
Yeah,
and I think you would. I think you would firm it.
Do you know what's so funny? He paid £9 million of his own money to get out the contract.
Shut up.
Do you know how funny that is? That is hilarious.
He probably
I don't want him back, man. Fuck it.
He probably take a loan from Jarabchin, innit?
Nah, man. I didn't know he paid the $9 million for his own contract. What?
Oh, come on, man. That was the biggest thing. Man was smiling when he left. He was like, yeah, Gucci back.
Do you remember the feel-good story he did when he was leaving? And he made it look like he was watching the Everton FA Cup game when Van Dijk scored. As he was getting on the plane to... I don't know why, that just really pissed me off. It's like, don't feign interest like you're still watching the team. You've
No. Don't get twisted. I personally think, yeah, if Coutinho left on good terms, he would love to still be like, he would be one of those guys like, oh, come on, Liverpool. Because let's be real, he did like kind of grow up here. Like, we kind of made him in like the man he is, the man he was that we saw to Barcelona. So I do think there's still that love for Liverpool there. But he knows, like, he's not like we go on like footballers are some robots. Like, he looks at his Instagram and sees Liverpool fans laughing at him when he like, he knows like vibe. So he's not gonna be. It's like with Cesc Fabregas. Remember when he played for Chelsea and he never really spoke about Arsenal, but now he's at Monaco. He's like, oh, Arsenal. Oh, when I was with Wenger, it's kind of the same. Coutinho, like, he knows that he's still active in the game. He's still up to many fans. So he's kind of going to be like, you know what? Even though I like Liverpool, I was probably happy for you that you won Champions League last year. I'm not going to say it. Fuck you lot. Like, if you were like win the Prem this year, nah, I'm not going to say it. Fuck you lot. Because I like you lot, but nah, I'm not going to say it because your fans are just dickheads. And we can be to our players as well. Old players as well. So it is what it is, man.
I mean, he deserves it, but yeah. All right, cool. So I guess that's a Coutinho no. No one really seems to be on it other than a fantasy loan deal. Mush, seeing as you've not been on in a while, is there anything you want to bring up? Is there anything you want to discuss? You're usually full of agendas.
Agendas? Oh, come on, that's strong. No, well, I think the main thing to say, I think I did bring it up the other day, is firstly, happy birthday, King Mo Salah. Our exceptional...
And happy birthday to Klopp as well. It's his birthday today.
Happy birthday, Dad. Yeah, no, I did want to talk about Mo Salah because I think this is something that's developed, like, it's been like this weird, I don't know, it's almost like fan fiction now, yeah? This whole weird thing of like, I like Sadio Mane, so that means Mo Salah's a prick. Like this, or like, I like Mo Salah, so Sadio Mane is crap. Like, why can't we enjoy the fact that we have two?
You know what, Mush, you've come on the most perfect episode because you've got Julian and Glam here who feed the group chat full of anti-Salah agenda. So please,
no.
Really?
No. I'm not gonna let Fai put me on front street like that. No.
Call me what you like.
What I done was I joked. I saw a tweet. I think it was like, take me back to 16-17 before that goal poacher came into our team. As a joke, I put that into the group chat. And the Mahrez debate, I'm not even gonna get into that. But yeah,
I completely forgot about that. That was insane.
That was insane. Me and Farouk here, we still need to go at it because that was nuts. The disrespect that you lot put on Mahrez, yeah.
No, but see, look, this is what always happens, yeah, is there used to be a time, yeah, where the phrase that goals decide games was a big phrase, right? And goals used to be, from what me growing up, I heard that goals were the hardest things to score in the sport of football, right? So we've suddenly got a player who can do the hardest bit of the game at a higher level than almost any other player who seems to be techier or saucier or more talented. All of these adjectives that we throw, Mo Salah is outperforming them, yeah? And we suddenly want to throw away a player who is voted the 5th and 6th best player in the world in consecutive years for a guy who I can put in 5 different gradients on a YouTube compilation. I have got the most effective footballer on the planet, and it is a miracle what he has done since he's been here, because all of these players, even players I love more, like I thought Luis Suarez is the best player I'd seen play for Liverpool. Fernando Torres is held so highly in regard. Mo Salah is outperforming all of them, and he deserves to be recognised so much more. Even Sadio Mane, who we think is better than him, he's outperforming him.
Whoa, chill. I don't say that.
Okay, well, I love Sadio Mane. He's actually my favourite Liverpool player. But what I don't like this thing of is, like, suddenly the only way we can make our other favourites worthy of the Salah debate is by trying to demean Salah. Like, you can't ignore a player of that level.
What? Go on, Julian.
I personally think Mush is listening to the vocal minority, which happens a lot. Like, I personally don't think, even with what I put in the group chat, yeah, I can share that, and then that will have Fahy and Chris thinking, Julian hates Salah, but I don't. Like, I think the vocal minority have such a strong voice. Because, fam, let's not lie. Don't shake your head like I hate
Julian,
Salah.
you're a nasty guy.
I'm not!
I need to see some of these receipts, bro. I need to see these receipts of what.
Oh, man.
I like Salah, yeah. It's just that I can see, 1, where Glam comes from when he has his criticisms. 2, when I see when people kind of I'm not gonna say overstate because he's incredible, but I kind of see where people do a bit too much in terms of, for example, the Mahrez Salah debate that we had, like to the level where people downplay other wingers like Mahrez, saying, "Oh, Salah is levels above him." When I can give you,
he's not.
He's not. He's not.
Because if I ask you, Moshe, since after the 17-18 season, in the most clutch moments, and I mean clutch moments.
Yeah. What? Sorry, say that again.
In the most clutch moments after the 17-18 season, where was Mo Salah when it was time to get a goal?
This is
when we needed him the most.
I mean, boy, I can bring up the Champions League final last year, the minute one.
He scored a pen that Milner could have scored.
No, I don't want to even bring that up.
What, is that not an important moment?
Chelsea last season.
Are you feeling all right?
Henderson could have scored that penalty.
Oh, shut up.
No, I'm not having it. No, I'm not.
Julian, do you know what I've got to disagree with here? Is there's two layers to this, right? The first bit is that we have this obsession, with caring about the person who was there at the decisive moment, and the whole season and all the work leading up to it that gets us into this position gets ignored, right? So someone might score the goal in the cup final, but the 50 goals we need to score to get there, we're not looking at who scored a large percentage of those. And the second part is that Mo Salah plays such a big role in intimidating teams. Sometimes it's not just about scoring the goal. It's the fact that when teams come up against us, they know they have to come up against Mo Salah. And they put so much resource and attention into negating him, that is allowing other players to flourish. And like, Rep carries so much, and he's created that through his own work. And to have a player of that caliber who can invoke that fear is so hard to even buy that. Like, we're talking about a top player. We haven't had many players who end up in the top 10 in the Ballon d'Or, apart from Steven Gerrard in this last decade. Steven Gerrard, Virgil van Dijk, Mo Salah and Sadio Mane. That's all we've got. And for some reason, Mo Salah is always the one who has to prove that he's worthy of being there when everyone else is.
Okay, but do you not think it's to do with him having the wonder season that he had the first season and him always being judged by that? So because he's never reached that pinnacle again in terms of actual performance and goals on paper, do you not think that's probably why some of the disrespect is coming?
Yeah. I agree that he's almost set his own level too high. Whereas if he spaced out this form where these 90 goals or whatever came level in 30-30-30 rather than a 40-20-17 or whatever, then it might have helped him. But I just feel like it's overstated, this thing of like, unless Salah scores, there's no quality. Because there is, like Chris said about the Champions League moments, mate, Mo Salah's pass to Sadio Mane for that header in the Bayern Munich game when it just killed off Bayern Munich, that was a brilliant pass. He has so many of those assists and so many moments where, like, we're so quick to point out Mo Salah's deficiencies with the football that we forget he's an exceptionally talented footballer as well.
But don't get us wrong, don't get me wrong. When I criticize Salah, I criticize everyone. Like I criticize literally close to everybody on the team because you know me, you know what I'm about, man.
Yeah.
I got my guys, Van Dijk, Gomez, hold tight them. I got my guys that I'll never criticize. But I think, and Glam can attest to this as well, the eye test is there. Like, you see there's games where, for example, let me think of a game. Everton last year was the most evident. Everton last year, I was thinking, Salah, what the fuck are you doing? Like, there's games where I'm watching him do so much and occupy the ball so much that it's mentally irritating to watch him do crazy. Even Atletico Madrid this year, that's the perfect example. Like that game, I personally thought Salah played well, but there's times where he had that lack of clutch finishing that we praise him so much.
Oh yeah, Wolves away was the same. Remember when Hendo scored, and the only reason he scored was because Salah was being greedy and he got tackled and the ball actually fell.
Yeah, I remember that. That's annoying.
We do see, and because we're not football fans that goes off. All right, Salah scored today. He didn't score today, and we go off stats. Nah, we watch ball.
Yeah.
That's personally where my criticism comes from. Because I personally wouldn't trade him for anything under Kylian Mbappe, Neymar, or 200 mil. That's me.
Well, I'm happy you said that. I'm happy you said that, Julian, because I think that was what I'd hoped would be said today, which is if you're going to replace Mo Salah, you literally need to find the best player on the planet to be able to do that. Because anyone, like some players, I hear like someone I read once, and I'm not saying I read every comment and buy it, But I heard someone say, "Oh, you work with Adama enough, and Adama can do what Salah's doing." Like, we can't do this thing of like, if you polish up any winger, he can do what Mo Salah does. Like, oh my god, it irritates me so much.
Yeah, I think you listen to the vocal minority too much, Mush, man. You need to get off the Twitter streets for a bit and just come to the real world, come to the streets.
I need my hair to grow back, bro, so it covers my ears.
Yeah, Moshe's just upset about his hair, man.
Yeah. I think he's Salah.
I mean, 91 goals and 37 assists in 144 games. You can't doubt what he's brought to the club, man.
He's sick, man. Like, Salah's the most, he's honestly the most, I joke, but he's honestly the most efficient player that I've seen in a Liverpool shirt. No lies. Efficiency, not the best, but in terms of efficiency, I've not seen...
He's not easy on the eye. He's not easy on the eye. So I see it. I know why people prefer Mane. I get it. Mane is much more enjoyable to watch.
And also comes across as a little bit less selfish on the ball. Because Salah, let's be real, there are times where he plays like, if I'm not scoring, fuck this win.
100%. I think that's what makes Salah what he is, though.
Yeah.
But
you need that ruthless aggression in it.
Yeah, as a Liverpool fan, I'm not going to see that. I don't want to see that. I personally won't see the good in that. Like,
No, though, because Spurs fans probably look at Kane, who takes shots non-stop when there's passes on.
Yeah, but they don't win.
They think of what way up the
opposite. They don't win. They don't win. When you win the Champions League, and even Tottenham fans have told you last year, like, yo, Kane should not have been starting that Champions League final. So
nah, he shouldn't.
Yeah, so I can't lie. When Tottenham win Champions League, or it can even challenge for the league until the last day, that's when you can start chatting in it. But until then, I don't want to hear about no Kane, because even he's counting in about a year or two still. So, boy, win something and then they can chat to me about Kane.
Okay. Well, all I can say is King Mo in it.
Yeah, hold tight moment, man. King of Liverpool, King of Egypt, the greatest breaker of chains, breaker of goal records in the Prem. I respect it, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna put him on a crazy pedestal like us Liverpool fans do with a lot of our players, and say he's levels above a lot of wingers because he's more efficient than some and gets a lot of goals. Like, nah, man. I watch ball, fam. I don't watch stats.
Yeah, but
I've got a quick question for Glenn.
Yeah.
How many players would you swap Salah for in the world right now?
How many?
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah. Who and how many? Yeah.
Okay, so Mbappe.
Yeah.
Probably. Well, off head, probably not many. I'll be honest with you. There's not many. Probably one or two.
Okay. All right. So you also rate him in high regard then?
What he does, I rate him very highly. I don't like some of the things that he does, but for what he end products and what he does and what he produces, I rate him very highly as one of the best in the world.
So can we admit that it's sensationalism sometimes when you're casting the hell out of him on the pod?
No, because he pisses me off. He's too fucking greedy, and I won't take that back. He's too fucking greedy, bro. I can't stand the way he plays.
I admire that. It's a man of his convictions. Not moving away.
Hearing the 30 seconds or the 1 minute of him getting goals, he's watching the other 92. What did Salah do in the other 92?
What does it say on the top left of the screen, bro?
But it's true. But I can't like in the other in like 92, Salah does when he's not scoring. Yeah, sometimes I'm thinking, bro, like, are you on crack? Sometimes, like when I see him play, I cut this out by the way. But like sometimes, like when I see him play, yeah, I'm like, brother, like, are you alright? Like some of the things he does, like man's trying to directly run at like 3 defenders, trying to beat them. And
do you know what it is? I honestly feel as if because it happened for him in the 17-18 season, he's because remember all those ricochets he used to get. It would be so mad. He would kick it and it'd bounce off like 5 players and go to his feet. It'd be so ridiculous.
Still trying to find cutting from Spurs. I say that all the time. Like that goal against Spurs, he's been trying to recreate that for time.
It's not gonna happen. It's true. But all right, cool. All right, so I think that's enough for this evening. So Krish, Glam, Julian, Mush, thank you for joining me. You know, football's back this week, so looking forward to gathering your thoughts next week. We've got a really special episode next week. You guys will see. We've got a very special guest. So keep it locked. Make sure to subscribe on the YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter, Kop End Fracas, and join the Discord channel as well. We'll send the link on the tweet tomorrow. Until next time, take care and stay safe.
Peace.
Peace. Catch you later, people.